Hey guys, Tom itself here, back with some more shotgun probability. I'm going to be focusing on the SPAS in this video, but I need to put out some general topics because I know it's been a while since I put out that first video. The reason why it's taken so long to get back to this is because I started some in-game testing and my numbers weren't quite as accurate as I would like them to be. Now, how you put it, actual results may vary, or real-world results, in this case in-game results, not quite as accurate as I would like. So I finally got around to doing some rather extensive testing in-game, writing down the results, killing myself over and over again in split screen and counting how many shots it took, and yeah, that was tedious, but it was worth it. So the number, if you do this kind of thing, that you're going to be interested in is the total area of the player hitboxes when face on. The number I got was 1.25, give or take, square meters. That was quite a bit larger than I was expecting and had been in my previous estimations of whatever. Let's get on with it. The basic question I'm trying to answer here is what's more important, the damage drop-off of the shotgun pellets at fairly close range, or the spread, making them inaccurate so you can't get all of them to land on target. At what range does the shotgun become ineffective? With all the different perks, proficiencies, and attachments that you can have, it gets fairly difficult to say. Now, because of that, also, there are so many possible combinations that I can't actually realistically cover all of them in a video. So let me put out some general stuff first. First, let's talk about damage. The default SPAS is a 30 to 14 damage weapon. The damage drop-off starts at 10 meters. It goes, and the pellets disappear at 17.5. If you get a silencer in purple there, the damage drop-off happens sooner, the pellets disappear sooner. Range has the opposite effect. If you've got damage, your pellets flat out do more damage. Or if you've got specialist and you started off with damage, you'll have both damage and range. It gets kind of nasty at that point. Unless this doesn't really tell us a whole lot. What we actually want to talk about is the number of hits it takes to kill. Now, with hits to kill, lower is obviously better. The fewer hits it takes, the more likely you are to get enough on target that you'll get that kill. This graph is kind of a reverse stair-step thing of the damage plot, but what it does make fairly clear is that damage is definitely better or on par with range until 16-17 meters when those pellets just start to disappear, and then range actually might be better. I can't even realistically put all of the possible attachment and proficiency combinations on this graph without cluttering it up too much. So one of the two factors that you're going to have to consider with proficiencies and attachments is how many hits it takes to kill. And you can look at something like a silencer with damage. So you just kind of try to find a middle ground between those two. Nonetheless, this is a good starting point. So as I said in the first shotgun probability video, the two important assumptions that I'm making are that the shotgun pellets are all independent of each other, and that they have an equal probability of hitting anywhere in that cone that the shotgun shoots them out into. The reason I make those two assumptions is that it simplifies the problem quite a bit, and I can simply treat the probability as a simple binomial. Trust me, this is the easiest way I can find to go that still gives me a pretty good idea what's going on. Now, as to how important that correction was that I did with the in-game testing, well, you see the old probability curve on the bottom and the new one on the top, and yeah, it makes a difference, a fairly substantial one. So hopefully these numbers are more reflective of what's actually going on in the game. The one data point off you see there on the top is the actual data point. The reason why it's not on the line is because, well, in my approximation, I'm aiming high, just to put it simply, and I have to be further away before I have the entire target inside the actual range. I wasn't sure how else to go about it. Nonetheless, I have some approximation for the probability of getting a hit based on the distance and angle of spread from the shotgun. Let's talk about some results now. I like things in my favor, so let's go ahead and start off with a 97% probability of getting a kill. You'll see the y-axis is distance in meters, and the x-axis is time in milliseconds. And that's why it steps, is because that's the fire rate on the SPAS. And this is a line, so distance, and after one shot, 97% at 4 and 3/4 meter. After 2 shots, you're getting up closer to 7. After 3 shots, over 12 meters, you have a 97% probability of getting a kill at that range. I hope this is making sense. Anyway, let's go ahead and add another one. This time let's talk about 83% chance of getting a kill. And it starts off the first shot at 6 meters, goes the second one over 12, third one close to 14. I hope you see where we're going with this. So let's go ahead and add in 67% probability of getting a kill. And you see, each time I'm willing to lower the probability that I'm looking for to get that kill, the distance at which that happens is a little bit further out, although you see some discontinuity where the number of shots to kill goes up, and so they end up lying on top of each other. It gives you a good idea that, okay, if you want to be really sure that you're getting a kill, especially with that first shot with the SPAS, you got to be pretty close. But if you got a couple more shots and you're willing to say, willing to take some chances and not go on so much quite a sure thing, the range gets quite a bit further. So let's go ahead and add in 50%. Well, on a first shot, again, and this is without steady aim, close to 9 meters, you get about a 50% chance of getting a kill. Yeah, this is the way I kind of wanted to show the data in the first place, kind of a topography of probability in space and time. Wow, that sounds nerdy, but awesome. Now, hang on here because I'm going to speed up a little bit. Just go ahead and pause things if you want to study the graphs. Let's go ahead and add in steady aim. Again, this is still without damage or range. Nonetheless, it significantly improves the range, of course, if you can be accurate. So you get that 97% of first shot out past 7 meters at that point, and 50% out past 12. Yeah, that significantly improves the weapon's performance, doesn't it? Now let's go ahead and get into what you really want to see. Let's go ahead and add damage with steady aim on there. And of course, you have to be that accurate, but it's a little more forgiving. See, 97% on first shot out past 8 meters, and 50%, well, out past 13. And even on the second and third shots, you really start to see where the damage drop-off really limits the range of the gun. So let's go ahead and add range on there too. And again, it doesn't help over damage until you're out to 15, 16 meters or so. So the first shot, range really doesn't help a whole lot. And you'll actually see that that 50% line is pretty much the same for both range and damage on the first shot. They kind of cover each other up. But damage is still, at least for that 97% line, is further forward out past 8 meters, whereas opposed to just normal range, because it's the same as the base gun at that point, is down with the normal steady aim at 7 something-ish. But if you get 2 shots off, well, yeah, at this point, range and damage are still the same for that 97%, but at the further ranges, range has a little bit higher chance of actually getting a kill. And then finally, you see again the damage drop-off come into play as the third shot. Range is obviously a little bit better than damage, but it isn't until the third shot that you have a really pronounced advantage. So, as far as range versus damage goes on the SPAS, I'm going to take damage every time. So let me go ahead and do some kind of weird examples, but let's start off with Specialist, where if you start off with damage and get the Specialist bonus, you'll have both range and damage. That obviously makes a shotgun pretty scary if you can be accurate with it. So there's that, and let's go ahead and put up damage without steady aim, but with a silencer. There's just examples of some of the crazy combinations you can get. Yeah. So don't ask me for more, but that should give you a pretty good idea about what the SPAS is actually capable of. Finally, because I know someone will ask if I can do this for normal guns, the answer is maybe, but it's a whole lot more complicated. The way I've simplified the probabilities here makes things fairly straightforward. Well, if I were to do normal guns, there are 2 general approaches I could see. One is to go with a Monte Carlo approximation, and if you see like the Synthic recoil plots or stuff like that, I think that's how they're doing it. The other would be to combine some stats with some control theory and try to do things analytically, which is kind of where I would like to start, but it's kind of scary because I think the starting point for me would be to read someone's doctoral thesis. Yeah, I think I'd rather just go play some Call of Duty. Oh, please leave your feedback. Though I know at least experience says not many people are going to check me, since I got away with posting some fairly inaccurate results before. But, nonetheless, I hope this is useful, and I'm going to dive into some different guns. We're going to take a look at the Striker and the AA-12, hopefully before too long, because those are the ones where I think the distinction between range and damage is going to be most interesting to take a look at. Now, again, I hope it was useful, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later.